Welcome to the Don't Tell Me About Yourself podcast. We're at TalentSphere 2026, and we are here in Savannah, Georgia. And I have Preston Sharpston with us today. And we had a chance to do a panel together yesterday. I've seen you on LinkedIn a ton.
Oh, thank you.
And when you reached out and said you were willing to do a panel with us, I was immediately like, yes. And I haven't told you this yet, but Brandon Jeffs was like, that is one cool dude. And I'm like, I can't wait.
Brandon is just the best.
Isn't he the best?
He's just like a bundle of sunshine.
Yes.
Shout out to Brandon.
I know. Shout out to Brandon. I was very eager to meet you, and I was so glad that we could do that panel together.
Yeah.
Can you tell me how you even knew about TalentSphere and what brought you here?
Yeah. I met Natalie, one of the founders of TalentSphere, at RecFest last year. And we just sort of got to talking, and she had reached out to me about attending as I'm trying to sort of get out in the conference circuit.
Yes.
And I just asked to speak. I said,
Awesome.
if you have any slots open, I'd love to, yap for 45 minutes about talent acquisition.
Yes.
And here we are.
That's awesome. Have you spoken at any other conferences?
I have. I've spoken at RecFest, Disrupt HR in the Knoxville chapter.
Okay.
And I spoke at Evolve just 2 weeks ago.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
What are the subjects that you like to talk about?
Yeah, so I'm a big nerd for everything recruiter enablement. So
Yeah.
anything that helps recruiters do their jobs well. But I'm very focused on the practical. So not so much here's the strategy of how to do a certain thing, but how can I actually be strategic and do the work in step-by-step ways.
Yeah.
So for example, my session at Evolve was on, as a recruiter, how can I be a more strategic business partner?
Yeah.
And what are the ways as a recruiter that I can do that?
Awesome. You're obviously speaking at many events. What's your day job like? Can you describe that for us?
Yeah, my day job is I'm currently the director of people and recruiting for a Whataburger franchise. We're MWB Restaurants.
Okay.
As of today, we have 19 restaurants, but we're opening a couple more in the very near future. So we'll soon be at 21.
That's awesome. That's great. And I noticed yesterday, I got a chance to pop into your session just very, very briefly. You are coaching companies on how to manage recruiters as well. It's not just like the partnerships between recruiters and hiring managers, but it's like building teams too. Is that right?
Yeah, more or less. My side gig, as I call it, as I run Guideline Talent, which is an enablement practice.
Got it.
I really do two things. I work with recruiters to help them become talent acquisition manager ready.
Okay.
And then I help TA managers upskill their team. So
Wow.
I essentially do workshops, kind of one-on-one coaching. And
can you share any of the common challenges that you're noticing from those groups and kind of ways that you help them?
yeah, so for recruiters, I think the biggest challenge is we're never really taught how to be strategic. We're just say we need to be more strategic. And
Right.
that's kind of it, right?
Yeah.
So great. Thanks for that non-clarity.
Right.
I think so for them, it's about how do you actually make that shift from being just a recruiter to kind of like more of that strategic recruiter.
Yeah.
So things like in the way you do your intakes, or as I call them, strategy sessions.
Yeah.
How you prioritize, how you use data, things like that.
Right.
For TA leaders, the challenge there is that, your job is to lead a team.
Yeah.
But if you have 4 or 5 recruiters and they're all at different levels, it's going to be really challenging for you to get them all in the same playing field in like a really concise time frame.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I essentially embed into the team, and then I will help you just level set all of your recruiters, sort of like as almost like a silent arm of a partner.
Sure.
And we'll do like, training sessions every week. It's pretty low time commitment.
Okay.
And get them all to scale within like 60 or 90 days.
60 to 90 days. It's pretty legit.
That's the goal. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Are there general tips? I mean, I know that each partner that you have is going to have individual needs, but are there general tips that you notice coming up often that you hear yourself repeating that, give those people like an aha moment? They're like, oh, wait a second. I've never looked at it that way. Anything like that you can share?
Oh, it's a good question.
Asking the hard-hitting questions.
That is a hard-hitting question. Yeah. I would say one that comes up a lot is prioritization.
Okay.
So oftentimes our hiring managers, all of them think their jobs are the most important.
Yes,
and
they do.
that's not always true, right?
Yeah.
I used the example yesterday. You have maybe like a sales associate, and then you have a chief sales officer, obviously very different positions.
Yes.
And we may understand that because we have multiple requisitions, but they may not quite see the difference sometimes.
Sure.
So it's about how do you prioritize through data to have numbers behind it, so you're not just kind of giving opinions.
Yeah.
And then how do you articulate that to a hiring manager who may not agree with you?
Right. So data is absolutely wonderful. Victoria's a big data nerd. I was a big data nerd. I did a 7-year case study on interviewing, and I'm just like, I'm using this data to drive change. Has data changed in like the last few years? Like, are people measuring recruiting metrics or partnership data differently now?
I think so. I think, of course, we can't have a podcast not talking about AI,
Right. Yeah.
but
I mean, I can't believe we made it this long
I
without
know,
saying
right?
AI.
I think the fact that AI is now so prevalent
Yeah.
influences how we look at things because I feel like we're
Okay.
more analytical now than we used to be, which is
Yeah.
fantastic.
Right.
I also love to see the shift of moving away from maybe surface level metrics like time to hire, time to fill,
Cool. Yep.
which are great for, capacity and movement, but they don't
Yeah.
really tell you what's causing those.
Yeah. Or
Um,
where the bottlenecks are or
exactly,
anything like that.
exactly.
Okay.
And, metrics I like to use, for example, would be like a time to submit. So
Yeah.
how quickly am I actually submitting people for this job versus this big process?
Right.
So I would say yes.
Yeah. And this is just me getting granular here. I'm curious to know, do you guys ever, do you track like interview to interview ratios or anything like that?
Sometimes
Yeah.
when we can. Our company, we have me as the recruiting leader, and we have a couple
Yeah.
of kind of recruiting champion type roles in the restaurants who help with that sort of thing.
Okay. Sure.
But overall, I'm the data analyst, and I'm not a very good data
Yeah.
analyst. I'm just a reader of PowerPoints.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So there definitely is an element of that, I think.
Okay. Yeah. I think that was my way of like trying to figure out like where and how do you find bottlenecks? Like where can, if somebody's listening and they're like, I want to use data to get better at my job. Like what should they be looking for?
So I'll share with you. I'm going to have to sit up for this one. So
Yeah.
I'll share
Oh
with
yeah.
you, like,
Okay.
my
Me
favorite
too.
tip
Let's get.
is using data before you even start recruiting.
Okay.
So the first thing I do when I have a new requisition is I will, first of all, reach out to the hiring leader, schedule a strategy session, and then I will send them part of the strategy form to do themselves.
Okay.
Just to kind of save us time, set things off quickly.
Sure.
I'll then take what they send and I will do searches for, all the metrics, all the things, right?
Okay.
So I'm looking for how many people are in our target market with this job title, what other job titles, can I find that are similar? So like a total addressable market search.
Great. Yep.
And even if you don't have like a talent neuron or something that has like all this data, you can use multiple sources like Indeed, LinkedIn, and kind of aggregate them.
Yeah.
And then you come to your intake meeting or strategy session with that information. So when your hiring manager says, well, we can't, pay someone this because of X, you can push back and say, okay, well, we can find this person, but they're not going to be in this range. And you can really set yourself up to be successful.
Yeah. That is strategy. Because in the past, you get to the end of the hiring process with somebody, they get a lowball offer just because they didn't know when and did the market research on the front end to be like, is this market rate? So yeah, those are great tips. I love that. And curious to know then, what are you hoping to leave TalentSphere with? Like you came here hoping to do what?
Yeah, I speak at events because I love educating others. I'll probably be a professor at some point in the next 50 years.
Oh, I love that. I'll keep an eye out for that.
Yeah. So I just love being able to share knowledge. So I try to be like the resource that maybe people wish they'd had before.
Cool.
And all the things that I've learned that may seem obvious to me now, I know them, but other people had never heard of them.
Yeah.
So hopefully I was able to share that with a lot of folks.
Awesome. I love that. Can you tell our listeners where they can find your information?
Yes, I am the only Preston Sharpston I have ever found. So if you Google my name, I'm usually my LinkedIn's the first thing up there. My company is MWB Restaurants, and then my practice is guidelinetalent.com. So you can go there and find me.
Fantastic. Find him. All right. Thank you so much for your time. Enjoy the rest of the conference.